What is up, everybody? You are checking out the PGH Chris Show here on PGH Chris TV. I am PGH Chris. Well, I have not been in front of a microphone in a couple of days, and I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice a little bit. I've been sick as hell, but we got a couple things to talk about because a couple things in the sports world happened this week. All-Star weekend, the All-Star game format. There's rumors, Steelers news. People are talking about Aaron Rodgers, which I'll get into that. Um, some more comments about the Joey Porter and Ben situation. James Harrison has now came out and said more stuff, and a couple more things, and we're gonna get into all that stuff. But first, welcome to the PGH Chris Show again on PGH Chris TV. I am, of course, PGH Chris. The sponsor of the channel, sponsor of the show, the program always is G Fuel. We are powered by G Fuel Energy. Use code PGHChris or go to gfuel.com/PGHChris to get 20% off your order. Remember, tonight, AEW Dynamite Wednesday, live after the show, I will be on the Sports Jedi Network speaking about the Dynamite, what we saw on the post show tonight. So make sure you go follow and go subscribe over there. Also, we have news about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill no longer a Miami Dolphin, and we're gonna get into a couple things now. Again, thank you to all of our partners. Make sure to go subscribe to Sports Jedi Network. Dude Wipes, our affiliate with the Sports Jedi Network, and Blackout Coffee. Use code Sports Jedi 20 for 20% off, or code Rumble. And shout out to all of our partners and sponsors of the program. Let's start off here with the football news of the week. I don't remember which day it was that I heard that this initially came out. Was it yesterday or 2 days before, I believe? But Tyreek Hill has been released from the Miami Dolphins. He is now looking for a new home, and we're gonna see where that new home is. But yes, it was official from. Okay, so it was February 16th at 11:29 when I saw this by Adam Scheffner on Twitter. He's being released. He turns 32 on the 1st of March, and he is recovering from a dislocated knee and a torn ACL, which means he will be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his career. There are obviously a couple teams that I can see Tyreek Hill going to. I'm not going to sit here, be delusional, and say that the Steelers are going to get Tyreek Hill. I mean, I know I was talking to somebody on it on Twitter. Imagine Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf on the same team. It's not going to work. Talk about egos and just everything, with comes with being a diva wide receiver one. You don't want that in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. I understand you might call me crazy. Hell, I may be the only one that feels that way. But to me, Tyreek Hill coming to Pittsburgh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Do we desperately need a wide receiver too? Yes, it's no fucking secret. It's no question. I think every Steelers fan has been stressing about this all season, all off season last year, and this is going to be another problem that Steelers fans tackle on this off season, because God knows we're not going to get another valid wide receiver too. But I just don't think he fits the team. I can see him going to Baltimore. I do think the Ravens are a good team for him to go to, as much as I fucking hate it. You got to think about the Buffalo Bills. They need wide receivers. Josh Allen by himself isn't cutting it. I don't know. I don't know what other teams. I mean, I know a lot of people are telling him to go back to Kansas City, and I understand that. I think that could work, but I just feel like if he goes back to Kansas City, like they have Rashad Rice. I understand Tyreek Hill's better than Rashad Rice. Who else do they have? They have somebody else. I forget who's the other receiver. I forget they have. My mind's drawing a blank. Holy hell. But they have guys, and we don't know if this is Travis Kelce's last year. We just don't know that. Xavier Worthy's the other. I cannot believe I remember Rashid Rice before Xavier Worthy. So they have Xavier Worthy and Rashid Rice, right? Adding Tyreek Hill obviously is going to just level it up. But I'm looking at breaking news. ESPN civil lawsuit filed versus the Chiefs. Rashid Rice allegation assault. So I mean, I know we're going into a situation here. We know what's kind of going on with Rashid Rice. You know, he had that lawsuit, his ex-girlfriend, whatever. I guess now she's suing the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, yeah, she filed a civil lawsuit against the Chiefs, and I guess for him playing or the club's unaware. I don't know. My point is, if he were to go back to Kansas City, I could see it. I could see it because this may hurt Kansas City's wide receiver core, depending on how this ends up working out. And you look, it makes the most sense. Have him stay, you know, in the AFC. I think it could work well for Tyreek Hill. But I do think the Buffalo Bills, right, are the dream team. They're the team that I think would benefit the most from having Tyreek Hill. That's just me, but we'll see what happens with that. This is the first time he's getting to experience the whole free agency world because we know he was traded, and then he was with the Rams, dude. This comment got me fucked up. He was with the Chiefs for a while, so we'll see what happens with Tyreek Hill if he's gonna go to the Bills. I think that's the best spot, and we'll see. They need a wide receiver more than any other team, and Josh Allen will benefit huge from it. Before we get into another part of the football talk that has to do with my Pittsburgh Steelers, a word from our sponsor, G Fuel Energy. All right, quick timeout in today's video. I want to talk to you guys about our sponsor, G Fuel Energy. If you're anything like me, you're locked in for late nights, breaking down games, watching wrestling, gaming, or just grinding content and coffee isn't cutting it anymore, this is where G Fuel comes in. No sugar, no crash, just clean energy that keeps you focused on pregame all the way through overtime. Whether I'm live, recording, or locked in the slate of games, G Fuel keeps me going. They've got a ridiculous lineup of flavors, collaborations, and a whole other group of well-known content creators a part of the movement, so you're definitely going to find one that hits. This is legit energy for creators, gamers, and sports fans who don't slow down. Use promo code PGHChris when you check out. It saves you money and supports the channel, which you guys know I appreciate more than ever. Again, that's G Fuel Energy /PGHChris, or use promo code PGHChris for 20% off checkout. Now, let's get back into the video. Somebody in the chat, Circus. Oh, what is a Tyreek Hill? You must be a Miami Dolphins fan, my friend. You must be a salty Miami Dolphins fan. Moving on to Steelers news, which is why you guys are here. I'm so sick of the conversations. I'm so sick of talk shows. I love ESPN, but I'm sick of everybody talking about the situation, Aaron Rodgers. Now, it's not much of a situation, but it is because it's starting to be a situation. I think these analysts are making this more of a situation than it already is in Pittsburgh. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about, can Aaron Rodgers still be a Steeler? Is he coming back? Is it smart for the Steelers to wait for a decision for Aaron Rodgers? The answer, again, for the 100th time, is hell no. I'm going to say this again. Hell no. If you're a Steelers fan, why do you want Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh? Look, we're in the verge, we're in the phase, we're in the process of moving on. We moved on from Tomlin. We moved on from the entire coaching staff. The entire coaching staff in Pittsburgh is washed. It's done. It's different. Nothing's the same. We're finally getting a change. Stop. They're finally not putting bandages on big situations and big cuts that need stitches. And you're going to do this with your quarterback position. You're going to move on from your head coach. Even though Mike Tomlin is the one that came back there and said he was going to resign. Cool. But you're going to make the change and go with the change for everything but your most important position on the field. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Stop with the Aaron Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh talk. I'm sick of it. I am over it. I'm over it. What good does it do for Aaron Rodgers to come back to Pittsburgh? What? Because he's won a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy? What? Because he got us to the playoffs last year and won us the division? We have not won a playoff game since 2016. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to fix that, and he didn't. Look, now it goes back to what I talked about earlier in the Tyreek Hill situation, all this stuff, which, again, what is a Tyreek Hill? You can look it up for yourself. But with him, I mentioned where he could go. I mentioned if, let's say he were to go to Pittsburgh, and that's a possibility. If he does get a Tyreek Hill, somebody like him or him, does this conversation change? Maybe a little bit, because I still think Aaron Rodgers has that ability to throw the ball down the field very, very well, even at his age, better than a lot of quarterbacks, starting in the NFL now. But it goes to, when are we going to finally move on? And we're starting to do that now with the head coaching position, something that has never been done, something that we didn't even think that was going to happen, that was going to get done. And it happened. Instead, now we're going to take a step backwards. We're going to keep taking steps forward now, but we're going to pull it back a little bit to keep Aaron Rodgers in. I don't like that, ladies and gentlemen. I hate it. You either do one of three things. You put in Will Howard, and I know that's not going to sit right with a lot of people. You put in Will Howard. You get Malik Willis for free. You get one of these free agency quarterbacks, or you make a ridiculous trade that no one sees coming. Those, my friend, are the only three things I could see happening to fix the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh this season. Don't give me that bullshit that tanking. Tanking's a problem in the NBA already, and I'm going to talk about the NBA in my next segment because I do want to talk about All-Star Weekend, because I thought it was actually not that bad for once in the 2020s. This is the best All-Star game in 2020s. But my point is, the NBA has a tanking problem when it comes to teams not trying because they want a top 10 pick. I do not need this situation happening in the NFL. Hell no. Hell no. So what do? I think you go, obviously you want to go get that quarterback that no one sees coming. But you can go out there and get some free agency quarterbacks. Now, let me see if I can pull up a list for you guys, because I think it's going to, it makes sense. It makes sense to go over some of the quarterbacks who are going to be free agents. According to ESPN, now I have some up. Free agent, who will be a free agent? Daniel Jones, quarterback for, or is this, this 2026 free agency's top 50 players available. This was published January. Okay, so yes, these are people coming up now. Obviously, Pickens, whatever. Daniel Jones. The Colts would be stupid not to get Daniel Jones back there. I don't think Daniel Jones is leaving anytime soon. Malik Willis. Now I brought him up. He's a dual threat quarterback. Backup at Green Bay. He started that game where Jordan Love went hurt against the Bears, I believe, and he played pretty decent. Malik Willis, I did mention him. He's another one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see him on my list right now. Justin Fields. I don't know if he's going to be a free agent. I don't think he is, but okay, he's not. Cool. That's fine. But I think Malik Willis, if you get him in free agency, fine. Just don't tank. Don't give up your season to get who? Who the fuck's going to come up in the draft next year? Archie? We're not going to get a Fernando Mendoza. There's no point of tanking for quarterbacks. The quarterback. I didn't even think last year's draft class with the quarterbacks were strong. And look how fucking bad Cam Ward's playing right now. Look how, I don't want to say how bad Dylan Gabriel looks, but look how bad he fucking looked in a Cleveland Browns jersey. Jackson Dart, okay. He has some he's making progress. He has some hope. Shador, I mean, new coach. Does he have potential? Yes. Okay. Who else? Will Howard's a national champion quarterback from The Ohio State University. Even with his finger injury this year that caused him an opportunity to step the field, he ain't doing anything in an NFL level right now. See, my thing is, I think people saw Jaden Daniels his rookie year, and now that's the new expectation for these fucking rookies. That's why you don't tank to get a fucking rookie quarterback. Get Malik Willis, move on or not. Just go a different direction, please. No Aaron Rodgers. No Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to say that all day until either it's confirmed that he's coming back or it's not. So, with that being said, guys, before we get into the NBA All-Star Weekend and how I felt about it, one more time from our sponsor, G Fuel Energy. NBA All-Star Weekend. It was a good one, wasn't it, guys? I think this was one of the better All-Star games we had in a long time. I didn't mind the format. I actually thought the format was quite good. I think a lot of people played to not standards of an All-Star game, but I do think that all the players, starting with Victor Wembanyama, set the tone for the All-Star game. And it wasn't that bad. It was early as shit, though. It was at like 5 o'clock on that Sunday. First off, I want to give a honorable mention to my guy, Devin Booker, baby. Devin Book. D-Book. I had to put that Suns background in there for just 1 second, talking about Devin Booker. You're in. I got my Devin Booker Funko. I got the big Devin Booker. Devin Booker's my guy here. He choked on the three-point contest. He let Damian Lillard win, guy who has not played all year. It was fun. I liked it. I thought the dunk contest was boring as hell. But what's new with that? With the dunk contest. But let's talk a little bit about the All-Star game. Because I liked it. It was they did like a team new USA. They did like a USA versus the world format, right? But they broke the teams down in 3. So it was like you saw an All-Star team with the young heads, like led by Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham. There was a couple of the young guys there. And then, you had the team world, right, with Victor Wembanyama, Jokic, Luka, who obviously wasn't playing, but, he did something there. Luka being on the bench, just his presence, obviously it means something. But and then you had the old heads with Team USA like KD, Kawhi, LeBron. But obviously, what everyone's talking about is the All-Star game. Now, let's talk about the quick stats of the All-Star game before I talk about what I really wanted to talk about, and that's why I thought this All-Star game wasn't that bad. So, a couple key things stuck out to me when I watched it. That buzzer beater that Scotty Barnes hit, um, was a good one. Nobody really expected here for the young guys on Team USA, the young squad. De'Aaron Fox, which he was playing for the old heads, which they were USA Stripes. USA Stars was the young guys. USA Stripes was the old heads. De'Aaron Fox gave that buzzer beater, which I thought those two reasons stood out to me because, when you think of NBA All Stars, you might not think of a Scotty Barnes coming up, and you might not think of a De'Aaron Fox who has been in the league for quite some time now and was a standout college player, I believe, at the University of Kentucky with Malik Willis or Malik Monk. Malik Monk, holy shit! I'm football guys, football brain. It was Malik Monk, excuse me. Um, so that was fun. That was fun. I liked it. It was competitive. That's the main part I'm gonna talk about. But USA Stripes, they were fun to watch as well. But USA Stars, the young guys, Anthony Edwards played amazing. I think Victor Wembanyama setting that tone early in the game to if you guys aren't gonna try, I'm gonna try. Let's make this All-Star game competitive. I think Anthony Edwards saw that and was like, I gotta catch up. I gotta do that, which a little bit of audio from the game is showing, which I do not want to do that. So I apologize. But it was fun. Kawhi Leonard, though, for the old heads, USA Stripes, he had a great 12-minute. They did the games in 12 minutes. Like each game was 12 minutes long. Yo, he scored 31 points in 12 minutes in that 12-minute game. 11 in a row. And this is the thing. He's doing it inside the Intuit Dome. He's doing it literally where he plays basketball for the Clippers, and he has not produced that all fucking season. Imagine what Clippers fans are thinking watching this. Imagine what, the executives, coaches. Holy shit. We're not going to see this Kawhi Leonard come playoff season because he's going to be hurt. But game one, the old heads, or the young guys, USA Stars beat the world in overtime by 2. I guess the overtime was like 1-5, if I remember correctly. Game 2, the Stripes, the old heads, beat the young Bucks, beat the young guys by 2, 42-40. And then the old heads beat the Team World for the last game for the All-Star weekend, being the old heads and young guys. USA Stars versus USA Stripes, and USA Stripes, USA Stripes, the young guys, lose 47-41, which makes the final team to come out victorious in All-Star weekend is the USA Stars. Anthony Edwards was the MVP, which I don't think many people really kind of expected that. Definitely if Team World wins, Victor Wembanyama is the All-Star MVP. But no, kudos to everybody, because everybody's complaint during All-Star game was, okay, this is a game that all these players, all these superstar players can just go out there, dick around before the All-Star break, and they come back, whatever. But they gave effort. I thought it was fun to watch. The games weren't long. Like I said, what was it? 12-minute, 11-minute game, quarter. So it was fun. I didn't mind that. They gave effort, which is all anybody was really asking for. They pulled it off. Do they need to do this format? I think you can do this format because I know a lot of people say you don't have to, because you have a whole, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You could have Dylan Brooks, who didn't make it, but Shea Gilgeous, Luka, like those guys aren't playing. They're hurt. Steph Curry's not playing he would be on USA Stripes. He's not hurt. My point is, like a guy like Brandon Ingram does not make the All-Star game because of he wasn't an All-Star anyway. He made it because of injuries. But my point is, he probably doesn't even get a chance if they don't do a format like this where you can have the young guys go against the old guys, and then you can have guys from all over the world. You get more all-stars, I think. It feels like it, right? You get a little bit more all-stars. Maybe some players that are like, well, how is this guy not an all-star? He gets, well, do this format. Maybe there's a possibility, he can be. And I like it. It's competitive because, obviously when you're playing USA versus the world, right? That's just alone in itself a competition. A lot of these guys from the world come to the United States to play basketball, not vice versa. So that right there makes a competition for that itself. USA Stripes versus USA Stars. That makes great competition as well because you're going against, you have these fucking old veterans that have been in the league forever who are the best of the best. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Stephen Curry when he's healthy. Kawhi Leonard. You have so many fucking people that it makes for good competition. It really does. And I'm excited to see what they do with the All-Star format moving forward. Now, the dunk contest is still really boring. It's still boring. I still think it's, it wasn't that entertaining, I'll be honest. So we'll see what they could do with it, but overall, in the future. But overall, good week and for the NBA All-Star weekend. We'll see what happens with that moving forward. But guys, I'm going to end it here. This was a good, quick little 30 minutes of the PGH Chris Show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, if you care about wrestling, if you care about me, want to support Sports Jedi Media on X, Sports Jedi Network on YouTube. Tonight, I will be going live for the AEW Dynamite post show. Make sure you guys go check it out. I appreciate it. Subscribe. We're almost at 50 subscribers on the YouTube. Thank you to the Twitch, Kick, Rumble, X community for being here with me tonight.